How do I make my mother see it's no longer sibling squabbles? It's abuse and my sister needs professional help. Last night I 22F called my sister M13 to give her some recipes as she likes the food I cook and I no longer live at home. When I did, she was arguing with my other sister J14 over space on the couch. I tried to diffuse the situation, asking what happened, said that I would speak to both of them to get both sides and we could try come to a compromise. Jay didn't want to talk to me, which I said was okay. Why I'm posting here is this: the more M spoke to me, the more and more aggressive Jay became towards her. What started as snippy "shut the F up," which I know is not okay and I'm doing my best to work with Jay, quickly became "get the F out of here, get the F out, F you, stupid thing B," among other things that were much worse. I had been trying to get them to reach a compromise so they could both sit on the couch, but once that started I told them, look, I know this is unfair, I know you shouldn't have to, but you need to leave and go up to your room. I know you're trying to prove a point, but for your safety I think you should go upstairs away from her. And once she tried to move Jay's foot so she could leave, Jay kicked M in the knee. This happened twice while I was on the phone. M shouted to please stop kicking me. You've kicked me like 10 times today, to which Jay said shut the F up, I've only kicked you like 7 times. LSSM went upstairs crying and I stayed on the phone to her until she wanted to go to sleep. I choked back tears most of the call and told her we love her so much, to call me whenever she needed to, etc., and talked some silly stuff when she changed the topic. Where was our mother for all of this? In the other room, ignoring them. I called her today to tell her what happened and that enough is enough. Jay needs anger management and therapy, as does M, to talk about this. She said yeah, I'll have a word with them today. I don't even think she will. M had a bad experience with a counselor 2 years ago and doesn't want to go back, and Jay thinks therapy is quote thing stupid. I feel awful that I can't help more, but I'm doing all I can from here. I can't let them stay with me because they haven't been sticking to COVID guidelines and my husband is high risk and we have a 9-month-old. That only makes me feel worse. I feel so helpless, I don't know how else to help. I'm trying to convince M and Jay, but neither want to go and mother doesn't see it as a big deal. I don't want either of my sisters to end up seriously hurt before this problem is taken seriously. How can I convince my mother that Jay needs professional help and that M likely does too because of Jay's behavior? If you've read this far, thank you so much. I appreciate any advice anybody can offer, as I really feel I've hit a wall, but I can't give up on my sisters. A certain amount of sibling rivalry is normal and it shouldn't get physical, but sometimes does. Honestly, when you're a teen everything seems dumb or stupid. However, if one sister is getting hurt all the time, or if the anger issues extend beyond sibling rivalry, then there's a problem. If your sister ends striking someone who isn't a family member, say at school, you don't think there will be consequences? Then it won't be just counseling. The consequences could be life-changing. Thank you for your reply. That's the point I'm trying to get across. It shouldn't happen, but a slap or two happens as teens. But you're right, I don't want him to turn into a punching bag, but I also don't want to see Jay wind up in serious trouble over this when it's possibly avoidable. Up is so nice in the comments. To be brutally honest, there isn't really much you can do. I have 3 sisters. My oldest was born in 1985, next in 87, myself in 89, and younger born in 1991, so extremely close in age. We grew up sharing bedrooms in pairs, often switching as we grew too sick of each other. Fighting was savage. My parents gave up very quickly. As the 3rd child, I have no memories of them stepping in or trying to break us up, so before I was old enough to remember, they'd already stopped trying. My 2 oldest sisters fought the worst, often hurting each other quite seriously. When they became adults and the younger of the 2 got married, she cut off contact with my oldest sister for about 10 years. When she had my nephew 3 years ago, she decided she didn't want to deny him contact with any family, so they've been slowly speaking and seeing each other more, and in earnest they get on well now. We all do. I was always the least physical or the least manipulative, so I had the least disagreements with my sisters, but I clocked out of my home life for much of my teenage years. I connect well with my mum as an adult, but as a child I might as well have not existed. I've never connected with my dad and just stay away from him. Honestly, all 4 of us blame our parents for the difficulties in our relationships with each other. Maybe your sisters will turn out okay and figure figure things out as adults like we did, but they'll know what your mum did and how it wasn't okay. I don't know if your mum fully realizes this, but she sucks. Don't have kids if you don't want to parent them. Me and my brother used to be the same way. He would beat the shit out of me for such petty things, constantly call me names and degrade me. He'd tell me to just die or to kill myself. Now I started my fair share of fights with him, but there was no love. During sophomore year of high school I tried to commit suicide. The biggest driving force behind my decision was, I didn't feel loved at all. Not from my mom and especially not from my brother. My mom ended up having to kick him out before I could come home from the psych hospital. So from my experience it's only going to get worse and they both need help ASAP. First off, I'm sorry you went through this and I hope you're doing better now. Nobody deserves this. Honestly, this is what I'm terrified of. I never want either of my sisters to feel that way ever. I make an effort to tell them I love them every other day, but I know when you're in a dark place words don't change how you feel. Want to hopefully stop this before it gets to that stage. Thank you for your reply, and again, I hope you're doing better now. Ditched and alone during a pandemic, 41F. 18 years meant nothing to him, 41M. He says he was never happy. Hello. My husband of 18 years is leaving. I had no idea he was unhappy. I have always struggled with depression and anxiety. Now, the panic attacks are through the roof. Even worse, this is happening during a pandemic and I can't go anywhere. My friends dropped off or moved away in these 18 years. It happens when you are married. My only friend lives in another state and she is there for me, but I really feel alone. I have also been recently diagnosed with a chronic medical condition which is expensive and draining. I felt okay with the diagnosis knowing I had a partner that would help take care of me. Starting over at 41 scares me. I was looking forward to going grey with this man. I have never been alone. I went from my parents' house to the one I shared with my husband. The thought of coming home from work knowing I am facing an evening all alone and eating dinners by myself is killing me. I appreciate any words of wisdom/encouragement, or share your stories to give me strength. Don't overwhelm yourself with a depressing big picture, and instead focus on one moment at a time, day to day. You should get therapy ASAP and try to get on a regular schedule to have that to look forward to. Your future is not coming home alone and eating alone. Your next day will be spending time on a new hobby, talking to your therapist, making a good meal, catching up on a show, talking to friends/family. You need to work on being happy alone, and it is very possible. Learn to love yourself again, and before you know it you'll be ready to find a person that compliments you in ways you've never imagined. Hey, my husband left after 29 years. I survived, although wasn't sure how I'd cope. You've heard such good advice here. I probably can't add much, but I can say this: time. Just wait and don't make any major decisions. Wait for fine to pass. Eventually you'll wake up one day and feel something that has eluded you since he left. Hope for your life to come. Best wishes to you. You got this, heart. Hey, went through a similar situation at almost the same age. First, take a breath. This is going to be a marathon, so don't beat yourself up for feeling shitty right now. Second, get a therapist ASAP. It is the best tool we have to get our heads right and figure out the path forward. Third, I completely understand the fear of being alone. I was right there as well. I had so many miserable nights alone. Then, thanks to therapy, I got to a place where nights alone were less scary. And then finally, enjoyable and peaceful. Fourth, it totally sucks that this is happening during a pandemic. But the vaccine is coming, so this gives you a good window to work on yourself and be ready to date when the world opens up again. Which leads me to fifth. It has never been easier to date. When you are ready you are going to be stunned by the amount of men looking for someone like you. Finding them will take work, but we have better tools for that than ever. Good luck. I am rooting for you. My boyfriend of 6 years asked for a break. My best friend's husband of 9 years just did the same. The beginning of the pandemic, 2 of my married friends with a baby and a new house separated, her citing very similar reasons to your husband for why she started cheating on him. You are not alone. The pandemic is getting to everyone's mental health. I've been having anxiety attacks every day for a week now. Today is the first day without one, because I decided to say fuck what he thinks about me and put myself first. That's really the key, put yourself first, and hopefully you will come out of this stronger than before. Good luck! Exclamation mark. I started over again at 40. I met an amazing woman that was a better match for me on every single level. If I were you, I'd list the traits you look for in a partner and settle for nothing less. Don't get caught up in dating the wrong person just because you're lonely. Want to ask my friend, 19F, out, now that she's a girl, but worried I'll, 20M, hurt her feelings. Players involved are me, 20M, and Violet, 19F. So, my friend Violet started transitioning at the very beginning of the first lockdown. She told all of us in a close-knit friend group about her name, pronouns, etc., and we all had a mini Discord party for her to celebrate. We've kept in touch through lockdown via Discord, and multiplayer games, but we're not really the webcam kind, so we've not seen each other's faces in a while. One of my friends pointed this out, and we all had a night where we got on camera to hang out. Guys, she's stunning. I hadn't seen her since she was still going by her dead name, and by her own admission, she never cared about how she looked then. Now that she can be her real self, she looks incredible. She has her hair styled, and makeup, and got her ears pierced. I think she's started waxing her eyebrows. She's also my type, dark hair, 50s style rockabilly, with plans for piercings and tattoos once lockdown is over. So I stared at her like a lunatic for a good 5 minutes and had to pretend my camera had frozen. Anyway, here's the issue. A couple years ago, before she transitioned, Violet asked me out. I turned her down, because I'm straight, I'm pretty ambiguous looking, a lot of people think I'm gay, and she was kind of hurt by it. We agreed to still be friends, and we are. She's probably my best friend in the world. She took a little break from the group while her feelings were still raw, but when she came back, it was all fine. And now I want to ask her out. But I really don't know how, or whether I even should. It's not just about her looks. By the way, since she transitioned, she's so happy, and just being around her makes me grin like a dumbass. She's already super smart and kind. I'm just worried that she'll think I only care about her looks, since I didn't want to date her while she was presenting as a dude. I don't know how to explain that she's like a totally different person, being allowed to be who she always really was. And I guess if I'm honest, some of it is about her looks, because if it wasn't, I'd have been interested in her when she was still presenting as male. I'm super confused, and could use some advice. Bottom line is, whatever happens, I don't want to make things awkward for Violet. She's got enough going on as it is without me making it worse. Too long didn't read. Friend asked me out before she transitioned. I said no. She's transitioned, and I want to ask her out. I am dumb. Help me. It might actually be very affirming of her gender for you to broach the subject. Ask her out and tell us what happens, lol. Go for it, mate. You might regret not making a move later. Good luck. Violet asked me out. I turned her down, because I'm straight. Honestly, I think your new attraction to her might help her feel more comfortable. It reinforces her instinct THST the two of you had a connection and also recognizes and validates her gender considering your sexual orientation. There might be some complex feelings, but I think she might be grateful to hear that you are attracted to her true self and not the person she appeared to be as and someone who was a mab.